Yeah. So I was just flying it over the city, and then a bird just comes right in front of me. I've had this problem a lot since I've been in New Zealand. There's a lot of seagulls and birds out here. They're very territorial, and they don't like this foreign metal object flying through the air. So it's been giving me some problems. I almost crashed it a few times now. I started off as like a newspaper photographer, and then from photography, as the media changed and everything in newspapers kind of went online, you had to really adapt to video. And then so I was doing photo and video, and then print as well when I was working for the newspapers. And then this was when I was still young, like 22, 23, just fresh out of college, and I saw an internship for Tiger Muay Thai. It's like a gym in Thailand, doing like MMA, Muay Thai, like covering all this. No idea what Muay Thai was. No idea what. I had like a brief idea of what MMA is because I covered it actually for the newspaper. So, let me catch this thing before I forget. I'll do the fancy catch for you.
Here he comes.
I'll do a fancy catch for you.
Simple as that, eh?
Just like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. Brad walked right in front of me when you were catching it.
Did he? His head chopped off.
What say we go inside and we have a bit of a yarn?
Yeah, we can do that. I'm more of a behind the camera kind of guy, but we can try it. Yeah. So I first initially went out to Tiger Muay Thai as like an internship, and the job description was like covering Muay Thai and MMA and promoting the brands. And at this time, I had no idea what Muay Thai was at all. And I just Googled Phuket, and all these like beautiful islands came up. So I was like, oh, I'll go out there for 3 months. And then 6.5 years later, I finally left that place.
Double dipping dog gets paid by everybody. He gets paid by everybody. I started again, sorry.
Yeah, from Thailand actually is a really good experience that like, because I've always been into sports. So I was always covering a lot of sports in college and fresh out of the newspaper. But it was always like American sports, American football, American basketball, baseball, stuff like that. I was always really interested in that because I was like athletic growing up. So it was cool to go over there as to learn about Muay Thai and like the art that it is in Thailand and how it is like a whole culture. Same as like rugby is to New Zealand, it is to Thailand. It is like their national sport. It's everything. So it was really it was really cool to get to like the raw roots of Thai culture and see how the sport really embraces it. And from there, it was a gigantic MMA program as well at the time. First went out there in 2012, and it was kind of small, but it was just on its way up. They had just hired a couple like UFC coaches, Roger Huerta and Brian Ebersol. They were both UFC fighters at that time. And from there, the place just exploded. You got people from all around the world who would come out there and train. And now it's kind of like an international hub. You get like really good wrestlers from Dagestan and Russia. You get some high-level Dutch kickboxers. You get American wrestlers. You just get like, there's a lot of different faces there. So it was a really cool experience to meet different people and kind of tell their stories. And that's kind of like what I've always become passionate about, is like a storyteller. And that's like from my editorial background with like newspapers and stuff. And while I was out there, I made a lot of connections, and I started doing a lot of work with like the UFC and One Championship and other MMA organizations and brands and stuff out there. So I've kind of been in this combat sports world, like doing promo, photo, and video and stuff like that for like the last 7 years now.
And the Kiwi connection come about?
So Brad Riddell, Dan Hooker, Kai Car France, all were out there at Tiger Muay Thai training. So Dan and Kai did the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts, which I shot, and they won a spot, and they stayed out there for years and years. And from there, I met Brad Riddell, who lived out in Thailand for a long time, and we actually ended up becoming roommates for like 2 or 3 years. And from there, he brought out like Israel, like in 2015 or something like that. And I just remember seeing his stuff on like King of the Ring, and I was like, this guy is gonna be a star. So when he first went out there, I was like, yeah, I gotta do a video on this guy. So I started actually filming Israel in like 2015 is the first stuff I've done on him. And as well with Kai Volkanovski in like 2016, I started working with him. Like, it's just funny how there's this Tiger Muay Thai like CKB connection But from there, I started doing a lot of work with Ash James from Engage. And then they saw something really, like when they started sponsoring all the boys, they brought me out to like do promo work on them. And they also saw something like really special in Israel. And so they decided to start doing like long-term video work. Because I've worked with a lot of fighters, and a lot of them don't give you so much to work with, but it's like working with Israel is like really easy. He's really good on camera, he's very personable, and yeah, there's a lot to capture there. And now he gets flown around everywhere to do a lot of different things. So I've just been kind of his personal photographer, video guy along for the ride recently, and it's been a fun ride, I will promise you that. And I don't think we're going anywhere yet. People like to see what he's like outside of the cage because he's a very interesting character. He has a very interesting personality that a lot of people can like, a lot of people enjoy, I think. In the beginning, it was we started off as like just like promoting his fights because he was already kind of like a big name and kind of like a potential like rising star. So we actually filmed his first like Glory Kickboxing title fight. And we've now been almost at every fight since then, since his initial debut in the UFC, and then till now. They want to create something like a nice documentary, like on the road to the belt, and now we're like 1 week away from potentially finishing it, actually. So it's kind of exciting. Yeah, pretty much. I'm now written into Israel's contracts as well, so. It's pretty much allowed all access to everything that he's allowed to. So I shoot, basically follow him around all week in the hotels and doing medias and press conferences and open workouts, and then into the back room as well when he fights. So I'm with him like the whole time while he's warming up, and then he goes out, and then that's where I'm no longer allowed to film. The UFC pays him a lot of money to have that exclusive rights to that. It is. I'm actually like, I really got to know him because I've been working with him, I want to say, on and off for like 3 years now. But like I've actually pretty much been in New Zealand maybe like the last year pretty much full time. And I've actually been living with Israel too. So I've really got to like study him as like a fighter and as a person because it's kind of just my job is just document his life. But he's very passionate, and I really believe like his number one thing that really sets him apart from everyone is like his energy and his confidence. Like, I don't want to say he's just like cocky, he's just very confident. And I think that's what you need in this game, especially when you're at the top level. Like, you just need that, like, he's a very big believer in energy and all that too. And I never was before, but now it's starting to kind of rub off on me a little bit, maybe so. As he's getting bigger in the game, everybody kind of wants a piece of him, and he's aware of that. Like he acknowledges that, so he is very loyal to, like, especially looking at him at his gym. I know a lot of people have approached him before he was like a big time star. Like a lot of people approached him to come to America and train out of there, but he's always been very loyal to Eugene and these guys, and that's kind of how he is outside of the family as well, outside of like the training family, you know, with his regular friends and stuff like that. He's very loyal. Actually, no. He handles weight cuts really well, actually, and he doesn't sit very big. And to be honest, he doesn't really diet that hard either. Like he's kind of smart about it, especially in the last like 2 or 3 weeks. And all he's gonna do is eat clean this week, and then maybe like he'll drop 4 kilos like that probably, and then cut maybe like 1 in the sauna and just be ready to go. I think it's really beneficial that he doesn't cut a lot, so he's still able to train like all camp, like full of energy and full fed, and then all he's gotta do is just sweat out a little bit at the end. Like it's pretty easy for him. No, and that's what's crazy about it, honestly. Like, you know how people say it's just another fight. To this guy, it really is just another fight. It's just on a bigger stage with a more glorified belt and just another opponent. Like, I don't know. I think that, like, under those bright lights, that's when that guy shines the most. Like, I don't know. He's just got a lot of energy, a lot of confidence that, like, makes him a star. Oh, I'm very confident. actually. Like, now you see the amount of work he puts in, the amount of work that everyone here at the gym is. Like, there's a reason they have like 5 people in the UFC. There's a reason 4 of the 5 are like ranked in the top 15 as well. So it's like they got a good formula of what they're doing here. And with Eugene and Doug and Twist and Andre and all that, I think it's gonna be a good performance. And you see his persona, like when the cameras are down, he knows he's gonna go there and he knows he's gonna shine. Like,
hey, it's been good to get the insight from the other side of the camera.
It's a little bit different from me being on this side of the camera, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah, excellent, fantastic meeting you, and yeah, keep up the good work. We love watching what you put out, and we're looking forward to the
Sweet.
documentary. It'll be a blockbuster.
It'll be a good one, I promise.
It'll be a blockbuster. I
Nice.
know.
Thank you.